Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watched a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling, and let me tell you something, brother, if I may, dude, if you will. I didn't think that I was truly ready to do this episode, but then I said my prayers, and I took my vitamins, and I don't know, remembered what it's like. I remembered what it means to be a true red-blooded American, and I tuned up my bass guitar, and I went back and made a steamy, somewhat problematic sex tape, and now I am truly ready to embrace with my whole self what's to come this evening.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. Let
me say something, brother.
Let me tell you something, dude. Tonight, we are returning to Coliseum Home Video, where last time we watched bloopers, bleeps, and body slams.
Damn it, he said it right. God damn it.
I made sure to say it right.
You
will not get a joke out of me.
You're no fun. God damn it. Yeah. We watched. To put it, to make a long story quite short, we watched a bunch of weird bullshit last time. Ranging from the man, this is a troubling look into the Vince McMahon psyche, to oh my god, what the fuck is going on at this fake wedding party? Why is everybody lazily pushing pies in each other's faces?
That's true. 10 minutes of people lazily hitting each other with pie.
As long as I live, Austin, that segment will not cease to haunt me. It baffles me on an existential level. Why? I feel like I understand a lot about Vince McMahon at this point. I, for the life of me, cannot understand what possessed him or anyone around him to create that entire sequence, and it will haunt me for the rest of my days.
Well, tonight we're watching a Coliseum video that is focused on someone much less confusing and hard and much easier to understand. Hulk Hogan.
Terrence motherfucking Bollea. Let's go.
And to make sure we understand is that Terry Bollea's shoot penis is smaller than kayfabe's Hulk Hogan's kayfabe penis.
Do you think?
Want to make sure we understand that.
Do you think that this fucking guy? I'm not gonna be able to I'm gonna lose it by the time we're done with this because the Hulk Hogan just breaks me. Do you think that because okay, we all know that our boy Terry is a pathological liar. This man
hysterically so.
This man lies about everything. If you hooked him up to a polygraph, the polygraph would explode. It would he'd say hello, and the polygraph would just start melting. But also, I kind of get the feeling that our boy Terrence Bollea is a mite delusional. And what one does not have some of the opinions that he has without being a little bit, not there entirely. And
I mean, he was gonna be the basis for Metallica, dude, but then he decided to do this wrestling thing, brother, and the rest is history.
And he said, Metallica or pro wrestling? I'm gonna have to pick Metallica.
A story.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to pick pro wrestling. Fuck. The alternate history is him picking
the story. The story that is so widespread that Metallica still has to field questions about it to be like, no, he was never gonna be in the band.
Wait, no way! I didn't know that much.
They have been asked in interviews many times about this crap, and they're like, no.
No way!
Hulk Hogan has never almost been the bassist of this band.
No. Actually, he was talking about a different Metallica. They spell it with a CK.
The Metallica, they're in Canada. You wouldn't know that.
Canadian Metallica. We're all wrestlers have their bands.
Right.
As you well know.
Canadian Metallica rejected Hulk Hogan because he couldn't work like Bret Hart.
They rejected Hulk Hogan because he didn't say sorry enough. Because Hulk Hogan is unfamiliar with the term sorry. But no, fucking what the hell was I even saying? God, this episode's gonna get so goddamn off the rails. Oh yeah, do you think?
Well, I mean, nobody knows what it's like to get off the rails, so to speak, than Hulk Hogan.
Oh well, yeah, fair. No, but okay, Hulk Hogan's dick. That's what we were talking.
We were talking about his dick.
So he's a pathological liar, but he's also a little delusional. I have to wonder if in his mind, when he's like donning the Hulk Hogan gear and persona, does he like have a whole ass like Hulk transformation in his mind? Does he like do a whole like mental Hulk out sequence in which he imagines his cock actively enlarging, his cock and balls becoming Hulk size?
I don't want to think about it, so I'm not going
to. I'm just saying, you can never tell truly what's going on in his head, and you have to look at it from all sides. Because sure, he could just be knowingly lying, but he could just also be insane. That is a possibility.
I mean, he was trying to. For context to why we keep talking about this penis thing is that
in case we got noobs in the audience.
Right. So during his lawsuit with Gawker over them leaking his sex tape with the wife of his friend Bubba the Love Sponge.
Man, rip Bubba.
So they were trying to like talk. I don't remember the full context for why he brought this up, but they were asking about the accuracy of the video, of the identities of the video, and Hulk Hogan I need to hold on.
Because
you're gonna get this right.
I think they like remarked on how like on like the size of the dick, which was not like a super impressive dick size.
They did.
And Hulk Hogan said, "No, wait a minute, brother. I'm gonna have to
stop. All right. No, okay. From BuzzFeed News. All right, here's the context for what. Okay.
Oh my God.
He was trying to. Okay. Hulk Hogan testified Tuesday that the sexually explicit interviews he did. Okay. Oh, now I remember the context. Okay. So Gawker was trying to make an argument that Hulk Hogan didn't necessarily have a full right to privacy because he had talked about sexually explicit interviews in the media before.
Oh,
it was basically I don't agree with this argument at all. Gawker v. Hulk Hogan is watching two assholes fight each other. And honestly, the less evil asshole won.
I
would be Hogan.
I wish, man. Imagine being more evil than Hulk Hogan. Well, I guess Manny says, but I wish both parties in this a very please die immediately.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. So Gawker was insisting that because that his character Hulk Hogan that Hulk Hogan gave up his privacy as a public figure, and Hulk Hogan was trying to argue that like when he's in public he is Hulk Hogan the wrestler, rah rah rah, and in private he is Terry Bollea, as would have been the case on the sex tape. Here's the way he decides to explain that.
Because when you put it like that, it does sound like a cogent argument.
here's the way Hogan decided to say that. I do not have a 10-inch penis, Hogan said, referring to an interview he did in character. Terry Bollea's penis is not 10 inches. I was totally Hulk Hogan during the interviews because I wasn't at home in my private house.
God damn it.
So he is arguing. Yeah,
Wait,
it's actually a pretty solid argument.
We've memed on this so much. I didn't realize it was that solid of an argument. Now, hold on a second, brother. I didn't realize that there were actual, like, practical ramifications to Hulk Hogan distinguishing his in and out of kayfabe dick sizes.
There are, absolutely, but he could have explained the point about, like, me in a public interview is not me in my private home, because I have a public persona that is a fake wrestling character and one that is not. He could have said that in many ways, and the way he decided to say it was, my Terry Bollea doesn't have a 10-inch penis. Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch penis.
I am surprised I am a little surprised that he was willing to bite that bullet at all of saying that he, as Terry Bollea, does not in fact have a 10-inch massive donkey cock.
Yeah, dude. Terry Bollea's got 9.5, brother.
Unironically, God damn. I could see him unironically making that argument, like, very important distinction, brother. I, as Terry Bollea, only have a 9.5-inch donkey dick, but it's Hulk Hogan, brother. It gets a full whopping 10. All right, that's what I used to talk about 10-inch pythons. Well, have I got a python for you, brother?
Dude.
I guess the only thing Terry Bollea prizes more than, like, being seen as, like, the apex of humanity, the ultimate, like, ubermensch alpha male, is, like, saving his own ass from bullshit like that.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane. And thankfully Hogan won this lawsuit. That they were Gawker is fucked up, and it basically killed Gawker. Net positives in the world.
Who'd have thunk that Hulk Hogan would contribute to net positives in this world? Surely not I, Lord.
Well, okay, back on topic. I think we've had enough. I think we've talked enough about the penis thing. So,
top tier Noobs and Knockouts quote: I think we've talked enough about the penis thing.
Right. So tonight we are watching, Coliseum Home video releases. They did a lot of, character focused, quasi biographical pieces, but more like just compilation videos focusing on one wrestler. And obviously Hulk Hogan, because he was the hero Reagan's America needed.
I'm not entirely sure that's the hero that Reagan's America needed, but I'll accept the hero they thought they needed.
Ray he had a ton of these. So if we're gonna do an episode devoted to looking at one of these like wrestler focused Coliseum Home videos, who else could we have done this about? It's gotta be Hulk Hogan.
Oh, without a goddamn doubt. The man is an icon. The man is a favorite target of us here at the Noobs and Knockouts podcast. And I mean, you don't, like, okay, Bodies, Bloops, and Bleeper Slams last time was a great, like, it was the sort of thing that I love watching for this show. Unhinged chaos that's, like, eat a riff on. And that was intentionally wacky and weird and a bunch of bullshit. I guarantee you, all of the attempts they included in that to be earnestly funny, like all of the dumb shit from the fucking WWF talk show, which I still can't believe is a thing that actually existed for any goddamn period of time.
Let alone 2 years.
Let alone for 2 whole years. I'm honestly surprised. There is a part of me that's surprised it didn't run longer. But all of that, I guarantee, will be in some less entertaining than the shit we have tonight. Because Hulk Hogan, friends, is a giant, walking, talking meme of a human. He is perhaps one of the easiest humans on this entire planet to make fun of, and I am forever grateful for the absolute insanity that Terry Bollea proudly struts around putting on display, thinking it makes him look like a certified badass.
Hulk Hogan is nuts, and his wrestling persona has even as someone who I would say I'm a fan of Hulk Hogan as a character, his character is insane and goofy always.
Oh yeah, I don't ultimately hate. Okay, the Hulk Hogan character is far from my favorite of the of the wrestlers I've ever encountered. There are things about him that I enjoy, and a lot of stuff about him I can appreciate. But yeah, goofy motherfucker. Let's be clear, all the way through, top to bottom, goofy ass motherfucker.
He was a serious heel for a week with the NWO, and then he immediately defaulted back to being a clown.
Man, every goddamn time he does something cool, it like always reverts back to this weird self-parody. Like that's the same with the fucking superpowers shit. Like even like he has the epic moment where he like saves Randy Savage from being dicked on by the honky tonk man,
and then they have the world's goofiest handshake.
Like immediately, this man can't help himself. He is handed the best. He has been handed some of the best and most iconic spots ever in the history of wrestling on a silver fucking platter, and he still manages to make them insanely silly. That's talent right there. That's what Vince McMahon saw in him, man. That's what got him so over, dude.
Yep. All right, so for tonight, there are 4 matches on this. I'm not going to necessarily say what they are, but I will say that 1 match is from 1985, 2 are from 88, and 1 is from 87. So a little bit of a wider range, but generally very much in the peak of Hulk Hogan.
Oh, that's exciting. Again, he's a talented wrestler. And I do look forward to seeing like the actual work, and I can't wait to see like all the goofy bullshit he throws in there. That's also insanely memeable. Oh my god.
So we are watching this on Peacock TV, NBC Universal streaming service, and where WWE has all their shit these days.
I still can't believe they preserve the Coliseum shit on Peacock. That's so wild to me.
I appreciate it. I wish they would. We talked about this last time, but like they're probably never putting up any more of these because they are no longer on their own streaming service scraping for any sort of new content in their tape library that they could find to put on the network. Now they just get paid $1 billion for all of it anyway, so there's no incentive to put any more of that on there. So we'll probably never see any additional Coliseum videos.
This is hey, this is Noob David getting on his soapbox here. Preserve physical media, you absolute clowns, all of you. Hey, you listening who think you're above physical media because you got your Netflixes and your Spotify's. Fuck you. Go buy a VHS right now. Go buy a VHS right now. Okay, right now. No. I don't want to hear protests. Right now. All right. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm. It was tough because I honestly was like wanted to see if we could give ourselves some options here because this is the only Hulk Hogan specific one that is on Peacock. But guess what? I couldn't find any full length Hulk Hogan tapes. Just pirated on the internet.
Boo! That fucking sucks. God damn.
So we kind of I am happy with our selection, but also it was the only one I could get.
We got lucky here is what we're saying. Don't be like us. Don't take our risks.
No. Always preserve the media that you care about.
Fucking true. Always. All right, soapbox done. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So if you want to watch along with us, you're gonna get on that Peacock subscription of yours. Other than that, we'll see you in the back half to talk more about this particular WWF Coliseum Hulk Hogan video. Hulk Hogan, Real American.
Hell yeah, dude.
And we are back. We have just finished Hulk Hogan, Real American from Coliseum Home Videos.
Man, that was a compilation. All right. Definitely a lot of, I've never seen. Let me put it this way. I feel like doing a compilation like this almost does a disservice to watching Hulk Hogan's in-ring work because
you realize it's all the same.
Yeah, it's a little bit bare that my man just kind of does the same thing a bunch, and like he's good at doing that same thing, but oh man, does it get a little bit samey after a while?
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan, variations on a theme.
Yeah. This tape honestly seems like tries to hit all the major Hulk Hogan archetypes in one vid. Like you got the big fight with the big guy and the fight with the anti-America guy, and you got the fight with just evil foreigner and fight for the title.
Yeah, but like, man, none of the like. You get that those are things that he did in his career, and oh boy, did he do it. And but like, God, the tropes just it almost feels like the Hulk Hogan work and like the tropes in which he found himself surrounded are of two completely different worlds. Because if you put anyone inside of a match with Hulk Hogan, he's going to more or less do the exact same thing to them.
He is gonna make you fight his kind of match.
Yeah, pretty. You wanna have a work rate? Well, that's not gonna work for me, brother.
No, it's not gonna work. That at this rate, that work is not for me. Gonna work for me, dude.
It's not gonna. What do you? So, what the fuck is this chain wrestling business, dude?
Okay, dude. Here's the finish, brother. I'm gonna Hulk up, dude. Gonna no sell your moves, brother. Gonna hit you with some punches, dude, and then big boot and a leg drop. 1, 2, 3. That's how it's gonna go, dude.
But Mr. Hogan, that's how the guy last week went out too.
Are you saying that you are better than the last guy?
Well,
dude,
I mean, I just think that we should be a little varied up here, brother.
I'm sorry. Who are you, you little jabroni?
Is your name Hulk Hogan, brother?
Do the millions of fans out there, are they the Hulk? Are they the fans of you, dude? Or are they called the Hulkamaniacs, brother?
Now, all the Hulkamaniacs out there, they love seeing the big boot and the leg drop of the 1, 2, 3. Are you calling those millions of Hulkamaniacs liars, brother? Do you know what I do to people who lie about my Hulkamaniacs? Dude. Fucking clown. What an absolute clown. See, this is just, the Hulk Hogan jokes write themselves. This is what I was saying to you when we went off the air. You literally just, I can't, fuck, I'm a hypocrite already because I make fun of Hulk Hogan being formulaic, but then goddamn, you just do the Hulk Hogan joke formula, which is lay out a general premise and then have him talk about that premise in the voice while saying dude and brother a lot. Fuck. You cannot escape the Hulk Hogan formula, Austin. Everything.
Even in making jokes, we have to do Hulk Hogan humor.
We have to do the Hulk Hogan formula. Hulk Hogan was fucking formulated in a lab, all right, to be like the distillation of wrestling in the 80s. This is a synthetic person who was created, conceived, crafted, specifically designed to just be the most reliable 80s wrestler of all time. And in doing so, everything around him is sucked into this aura of just doing the thing, doing the formula, getting the same pops. 1, 2, 3, it's Hogan time, baby. Like, fuck. That for a man who gets regarded as just one of the greatest legends of all time, it is so remarkable how everything to do with him is just the exact same thing. Always. Variations on a theme. So much so that you can't talk about him without just saying the same shit over and over and over and making the same kind of commentary. Fuck.
And it's honestly amazing it worked for a decade. Like, how long? This is the benefit of the fact WWE did not have weekly programming where Hulk Hogan was expected to be on television every fucking week.
Yep. Yeah, well that was the thing. Like, WWF's formula was fucking annoying back in the 80s because they treated like anything that wasn't a pay-per-view like a fucking house show, essentially. Like, you saw like the big guy takes on the jobber. You didn't get a whole lot of the big clashes until pay-per-view, or like if you did, they were scattered rarely throughout, and like there was a lot of like artificial scarcity with the wrestlers. And yeah, it's easy to see, and I think this is something we may have talked about like early on, but it is easy to see why that was able to keep things fresh with the audience, because they didn't fucking see nearly enough of that on a regular basis to realize, this is kind of repetitive.
Yeah, like if you look at other top stars of history, you know, The Rock and Stone Cold were not around long enough to really get stale.
Yep.
Cena got stale.
Yeah, see,
bad.
Here's the thing. Here's the realization I just had.
John Cena is what would have happened if Hulk Hogan had to be on TV every single week.
John Cena is Hulk Hogan 2.0. And I think half of the reason that he's remembered a mite more fondly than Hulk Hogan relatively is like, I think there's a few reasons. One, he actually became divisive, which then kind of like circles the discourse back to people feeling like they need to be defensive of him. B, he isn't openly racist as fuck. And yeah. C, he actually has signed on to like movies that people like.
That's true. We do need to do an entire arc on this podcast just devoted to Hulk Hogan movies.
Yeah, like Cena is just the Hulk Hogan formula transplanted to modern day, 1 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Except,
but he got stale after a decade.
He did get stale after a decade.
And Roman Reigns has suffered from staleness pretty much his whole career. He went from, he became stale relatively quickly when he was like, I'm going to keep dressing like the Shield. And then he became the tribal chief and everyone loved it. But this video, Mean Gene talks about how Hogan was world champion for 4 years.
Yeah.
And
was that fucking long.
And right now, Roman Reigns has been world champion for like 2 years straight. And people are like, God damn it. When will it end?
Dude, everyone was so fucking hyped for Rollins to beat him at Clash of the Castle. And then it just did not happen.
And then, of course, it didn't happen.
And then, of course it didn't.
That didn't happen.
Fucking, what? Brock Lesnar, like, brought a goddamn backhoe tractor to the ring and like lifted it up, and Roman Reigns still somehow fucking retained. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, that is the artificial scarcity. You put it a good way. Like that gave him so much longevity that you could argue that's part of why his shtick did end up going stale. Part of it was obviously he's been doing it for a decade, but then a decade in, it was also when we started seeing weekly TV be more of a thing in wrestling. So it was more of an expectation that he show up every single week.
And at that point, he was a nostalgia act too.
Yeah.
Like, at 10 years in, like, every Hulkamania had been a thing for a decade. And, like, Mania can only last you so long, man. Like, you gotta have some substance behind it to keep it going. Because, basically, Hulk Hogan showed up on the scene, got insanely over by being the, like, shameless ass clown that he is, and was able to coast off that goodwill for a decade, keeping his appearances, like, relatively rare enough. You know, not to say, like, he barely appeared, whatever, but, like, but, you know, it wasn't like you weren't seeing him every week. And so, like, that keeps the Mania going. But even then, after a certain point, that has to die down. And he did start to show up weekly. And everyone's like, man, we've been doing this shit for, like, a decade. Maybe there's, like, more new exciting stuff on the horizon.
And then, of course, NWO for life.
Then NWO
that added years to his in-ring.
Well, that was the thing. That was the thing. NWO happens and reignites the fervor for Hulk. And again, like you said in the front half, he is, like, his character completely shifts for, like, a solid week, and then he's able to go back to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, he's heel Hulk. NWO Hogan is basically like regular Hulk Hogan, but you're expected to think he's an obnoxious asshole.
Yeah, like he's a bit more of an open, like, dick.
Yeah, but it's the same mannerisms. It's the same bloviating nonsense.
Oh, absolutely.
You're just supposed to boo him for it now.
Well, at least for a little while, but that he still seemed to manage to be, like, fucking over for another long while.
Yeah, because then, especially because then he comes back to WWE in the early 2000s after the war was over, and now he is a full-on, like, nostalgia pandering. Yay, Hogan! The red and yellow, brother.
Well, it's back to the artificial scarcity, and it's back to the original character. Because everyone's like, oh shit, it's that thing.
Hulk Hogan became a WWE champion in the year of our Lord 2002 because of the nostalgia pop.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, this man's pure animal magnetism and, like, the brilliant marketing around him kept him such a fucking dynamite act for so long, to the point where, like, at a point where any other wrestler's career should have fizzled out, and it looked like his was going to start doing so itself, like, they just found a way to reinvigorate, and that reinvigoration then basically gave them a built-in out to, like, one day bring him back to the OG gimmick and everyone lose their minds over it again, because he's back to the OG gimmick that they had not seen in, like, a decade. And, like, the cycle continues in perpetuity.
It's crazy, really.
Yeah, but this is why I say that this fucking video does such a disservice by just kind of being 4 straight matches in a row, because it just kind of shows you, like, 4 times in a row, like, man, does he ever, like, switch it up ever?
No, and
the video goes, don't think about it.
It truly does not highlight what people like about Hogan.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, we get tiny glimpses of that, and the work is part of it, but people wouldn't be, like, Hulkamania did not exist because of the boot and the leg drop and the 1, 2, 3. Not in full, anyway. It existed because here was this deeply eccentric and, much as I fucking hate the guy, deeply charismatic person who's just able to get you riled up. Like, even as much as I don't like Hulk Hogan as a person, like, every time we do a Hulk thing on this show, I get excited because I know where there's Hulk Hogan, there's absolute hype insanity, and it's gonna be sick. Mm-hmm. Even in a goofy way, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, and we don't really get any. We get very minimal Hogan, like, interviews and promos where he is his most unhinged fun. It was very weird as a video.
It's disappointing. And, like, I don't know. Looking at this from the perspective of Coliseum, I get it, right? Like, I don't think you could back in '89 lean into like the meme Hulk Hogan. Like I don't think people were self-aware enough about that shit back then. At
No.
least not by what I would guess. I think people thought they were into it because of the wrestling, but in reality they were into it because Hulk Hogan is a living, breathing meme that's so easy to just kind of like lose your fucking mind for. But there wasn't enough self-awareness about that back in the day to like lean into the shit that was like really what drove him to his massive success. But like you can't make a Hulk Hogan as a Coliseum Home video in '89. You can't make a Hulk Hogan compilation. Just have it be like, look at all of Hulk Hogan's greatest hits on promo. Like I think they should have, but I can see why they didn't.
Yeah,
but it's definitely the video.
I think that there are other, like, if we could have done a different Hulk Hogan video, I think this, because like he has like Hulkamania. I think Hulkamania was a reoccurring like title like series within Coliseum Video, and that would do a lot more of like recapping storylines across a particular period of time. And that included promos. Like, for example, one of the Hulkamania videos basically did what we did with the WrestleMania 3 arc. It basically showed all the major story beats and promos and all that. And I think that would be like, if I was trying to show someone like, this is Hulk Hogan, that would be probably more my scene, because it would show more of his wild personality, where this is a straight match compilation.
Yeah. And like, oh god, the fucking true American theming. Again, I get it. Everyone was on that shit back then, but dear god, it is aged into such a bland thing to highlight about him. Like, fucking, I know, again, Reagan's America, everyone was just, you said America, and everybody in the room, like, simultaneously had an orgasm. But, like, fuck, that ages so poorly into just such bland bullshit. Like, yeah, we get it, he's America. What else is there to offer, please?
Yeah, it's a big eye-rolly thing for me, for the most part. Better than Jim Duggan, because there is more to Hogan than that.
There is more to Hogan than Jim Duggan's just fucking annoying. Whereas Hogan has that goddamn animal magnetism to him.
Right, but when he's like, I gotta defend the red, white, blue dude, it's like, okay.
Right. I would say, like, again, I know it was over back then, but that is the weakest Hulk Hogan material. Because it's like,
I would agree.
Okay, why? Because you get reasons behind why Hulk does like everything else he does, but whenever the reason is America, he's just like, yeah, you know,
and like it's a thing. It's a reoccurring problem in wrestling of like these foreign heels who are anti-America. Is they rarely do anything that you would consider morally objectionable. They're just kind of. They just don't like America, and or so we'll talk about that with Nikolai Volkov. Just are like pro their country, but they don't otherwise do anything that'd be like, you know what, fuck this guy.
But again, Reagan's America.
Yeah, you're gonna have to repeat that.
Reagan's America. This shit is morally reprehensible. Like, not being like America is the greatest country that exists, and actually, in fact, the only greatest country that exists. Fuck you. That is like peak sacrilege.
Yeah.
So
let's just go ahead and get into it.
God, we did like a whole fucking like a whole fucking post-mortem of the video before we actually like got into any of it. God. Anyway.
Awkward. What are we gonna end this video on? But so we get the Coliseum Home video opening this time, or at least something.
Oh my
like
god,
that.
They have upgraded those intro graphics, baby! Holy shit, we got like an angled flyover shot of like, I don't know, some river with canyons popping out of it, and then lightning, thunder, WWF,
the World Wrestling Federation.
Fuck. Okay, damn. I guess we're here to do some wrestling. Thanks.
Yeah, this video is released in 1988, and the reason and you know that because of what Gene mentions later, and I'll
for some reason I thought the copyright at the end said for 89.
It could be late 80, it could be early 89,
okay.
But it definitely is. This is taking place in the year-long Macho Man Randy Savage WWE title reign. It went from WrestleMania 4 to WrestleMania 5.
Damn.
Because Mean Gene is talking about Hogan being WWE champion in the past tense and is suggesting like one day he'll get that title back. So he is definitely not champion right now.
So he had his 4-year-long reign, a year break, and then he went right back to it?
Yes, then he was champion again for a year, and then he lost it to the Ultimate Warrior. Oh, and
shit.
And then at WrestleMania 7, he won the belt back from Iraqi sympathizer Sergeant Slaughter. And then he lost the belt to The Undertaker in December of 91.
Holy shit.
And then he won the belt back like 2 weeks later, except there was bullshit. And so he was stripped of the belt. And then it went to Ric Flair. Then it went back to Randy Savage. Then it went back to Ric Flair. Then it went to Bret Hart. Then it went to Yokozuna. Then it went back to Hogan in 93 at WrestleMania 9.
And only because Hogan, wasn't that like Hogan didn't want to fight hard or whatever?
I forget the reason. That's why okay, so it was going to be Bret's moment. It was going to be Bret's moment at WrestleMania 9. Then Hogan came back, and Vince was like, give Hogan the belt.
Yeah.
And then to appease Bret, Hogan was like, yeah, I'll put you over at SummerSlam, dude. And then Hogan said, and then later Hogan said, this little jabroni it wouldn't be realistic if he beat me, dude. He's not big enough, dude.
Yeah,
and so he drops the belt back to Yokozuna at King of the Ring 93, and then Bret gets his win back in 94 at WrestleMania 10.
I love
Hogan pieces the fuck out.
I love how the history of Hogan like losing belts to people is him like losing to the only people capable of getting as over, if not more over, as he was. And then Yokozuna.
And then Yokozuna, yes.
And then Yokozuna.
I mean, they were trying to make him the big foreign monster heel of the olden days, but, new generation's not working anymore.
The bold of you to assume the new generation ever worked to begin with. Well, there was Shawn Michaels, at least.
True. All right, so we start back to the video now that we've covered the Hulk Hogan WWE Championship history.
Also, so we get an intro screen for it that's like Hulk Hogan, True American, and there's like a little flag waving graphic next to it, except for some reason this American flag graphic is all stripes and no stars, which makes me think that Hulk Hogan is actually just a huge Where's Waldo enthusiast.
Yeah, very true.
Yep.
But we get a promo video.
I found that bastard Waldo, brother. He was hiding behind. He was hiding in that crap.
Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo, dude?
Dude, I'm gonna drop the boot on you unless you tell me where Waldo is, brother. He yells.
Yeah.
He does a leg drop on the book because he can't find Waldo.
Yeah. So we get a Hogan highlight video that is set to his theme song, Real American. Yeah. Fuck you, Rick Derringer, for making such a catchy song.
God, I hate that song. I hate how it gets stuck in my head. Jesus
When
Christ.
It comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand. It don't help to hide. If you hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride. I gotta be a man. I can't let it slide.
God fucking damn it. Also,
like a real American, I fight for the rights of every man.
Only men, though. Fuck the women.
Of course.
And of the men,
Just like the founders intended.
Yeah, and of the men, only the white ones, brother. Yeah. just like the founding fathers intended. Anyway, during this montage, we get this shot of a bunch of kids swarming Hulk Hogan while he's on a motorcycle.
Oh yeah, they have. I don't remember. I have no idea where that comes from, but they use that in like every Hulk Hogan promo clip, compilation video ever.
Yeah,
He's just riding his motorcycle and a bunch of kids swarm him out in some random fucking parking lot in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bad touch for me, brother. Jesus Christ! Yeah,
all my little Hulkamaniacs, you know, all the little kids.
They love the motorcycle, brother.
All the little kids be like, "I need an adult." Hulk Hogan, I am an adult.
I am an adult. I am your adult now, brother. Come ride on my motorcycle with me, dude. It's totally safe for you, brother.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so when we cut to Mean Gene in the control room, and he's like, "That montage must make you feel proud," and I'm like,
as an American, I'm like,
as an American. Mean Gene watches Hulk Hogan montages, and he cheers up about he tears up a little bit thinking about the apex of American exceptionalism that is Terry Bollea.
Of course.
Absolutely.
This orange banana man with with the stringiest, grossest hair you can imagine on a middle-aged man. This is peak American exceptionalism, right?
You know what? You're not even wrong. That is Hulk Hogan really is the apex of America and everything that it fucking stands for. Also, Mean Gene says it's ironic that this tape
is called Real American, and it's like, no, that's the point, Mean Gene. It's not ironic.
Wait. He's like, yes, Hulk Hogan. Two things in that montage you got plenty of: America and Hulk Hogan. And it sure is ironic that this video is entitled Hulk Hogan, True American. I don't think Mean Gene understands how irony works. I don't think he fully grasps that concept. Mean Gene Oakland, great at interviewing, not great at understanding literary devices.
No, not literary analyst, not Mean Gene.
True. That's actually Nice Gene's job.
Yeah. So Mean Gene just kind of hypes up the matches that are going to be later on the tape.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we open with match 1, Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan in a steel cage match at WrestleFest.
You know, I'm not going to lie, guys. I got a little hype for this one. I was like, goddamn, Hulk Hogan and Andre trapped inside of a cage. That'll be an absolute fucking slugfest, brother.
But
I can be here for it. I forget.
But you forget every time. This is WWE cage rules.
I'm Boo Boo the Fool. Yeah, okay. So Andre shows up, booed by the crowd because of course, with Bobby Heenan in tow because of course, and he does something that I've never really seen done before, a cage match before, wherein he goes up to the cage and he starts like shaking it, I guess, to test to inspect the cage, to test that everything's sturdy. And I'm like, all right, you know what? That's a cute spot for Andre to hit. Like, he's a big boy, and he's like, you know what? I want to make sure that this cage will stand up properly if I bang into it, because I am a big man and I could knock it down. And I'm like, that's a cute spot for Andre to do. That's fun. All right, cool. And then Hulk Hogan comes out, and he also
yanks the cage.
The cage. No, that wasn't a real inspection, brother. The Giant can't test the cage.
This is how you test a cage, dude.
And he shakes it the exact same way, except like slightly less vigorously, because he's not Andre the Giant. And congratulations, Hulk. You're so helpful. You get a gold star, sweetie. Yep. So they get in the cage, the match begins, and off the bat, something I noticed here that I didn't really ever notice in any of the fucking stuff we did when we covered Andre Hogan 1. It was right in front of my eyes. I never noticed, but like, Jesus Christ, Hulk Hogan and Andre look like a lot closer in height than you'd think they would. Like,
well, it's
because
they try to yell on commentary that Hogan is 6'8", but Andre is 7'4",
so
which is not correct. That's 8 inches.
That's 8 inches. Yeah, that's most
definitely not it.
But you Google Andre the Giant, and it lists him off at 7 foot, and Hogan is listed at like 6'7", I think. I'm pretty sure Hulk Hogan, according to Google, is 6'7". So,
well,
like,
Hogan would have lifts in his boots. Most wrestlers do, and Andre also,
did not.
Andre is also like he is absolutely starting to suffer the effects of his gigantism, and I think that might actually shrink him a little bit, a couple of inches.
Really? Fuck. Well, yeah. So here, Andre and Hogan look actually remarkably similar in height. It's kind of nuts. On one hand, it's like cool to see that Hogan is a wrestler who can physically like match up to Andre in size, but also like it's like, wait, so is Hogan also a giant by this logic? He don't get billed as a giant, but like, goddamn.
Well, if we keep telling our audience Hogan is 8 inches shorter than Andre, it's fine.
They don't got working eyes. They're these sheep will believe anything. You tell them Hogan is 3 feet compared to Andre's 20, and they'll see that fucking 7-inch difference, brother, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that checks out.
That's of course.
They'll follow anything.
I want to take this time to point out who the commentary team is here.
Yes.
Is Sean Mooney, who did a lot of backstage interview stuff with the WWF at this time. Lord Alfred Hayes.
Indeed.
We remember him from last time, of course.
We remember him.
And Superstar Billy Graham. Superstar Billy Graham was the WWF champion in the early to mid 70s. And he's kind of known nowadays for just kind of being a nut job. Not even in just the normal right-wingy nut job way, but also in the I think wrestlers should do more steroids kind of a way. His most famous version of this rant is when Kofi Kingston, who, if you don't know, is a very slim athletic.
Oh, he's a
lanky boy, yes. And when he became WWE champion, Billy Graham got mad about it, and in fact posted on Facebook about it and ranted that Kofi Kingston needs to start doing steroids. He said that directly.
Oh my God. I can imagine Billy Graham was very happy when the properly roided up Brock Lesnar squashed Kofi in all of 2 seconds. Everyone's over here being like, man, that's such a shit way to end Kofi's title. And Billy Graham's over here like, yes, actually, this checks out because Kofi's a lanky boy, which means he can never be stronger than Brock Lesnar.
Of course, finally, the world has been restored.
Oh my God. Oh, nature is healing. Oh, thank God. Oh, here is a man who will do his fucking duty to the art of wrestling and take some goddamn steroids, brother.
Yeah, so he's kind of like in a world where like we have got a better understanding of the dangers of steroid abuse, and it's become less and less socially. It's not the 90s. It's not, baseball in the 90s where like everybody was doing it and it's all fine. Now it's much more of a regulated thing. And yes, obviously people now still do steroids, but it's not the same kind of abuse that it used to be back in the day. And we've all largely accepted that that's a net positive. Absolutely. And then you got Billy Graham over here.
He's like, I don't see anything wrong with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
This is you should be, if you're not injecting 3 rounds of steroids a day, you're doing it wrong and you're a disgrace to the wrestling profession. And I hope you fucking die.
Yeah. So
like that.
Basically Billy Graham is insane, is what I'm trying to get across here.
God damn, he makes Jesse Ventura look normal.
And I was like, holy shit. They got the same fashion sense, too. Billy Graham was big tie-dye guy in his prime.
Oh, man. So what I'm hearing is that WWE has this annoying habit of turning out dudes who like wearing like really eccentric colors and outfits and shit, and then having them just go on and say just the weirdest things.
Yeah, sure.
You know what? I am personally surprised that WWE and F and whatever the fuck else attracts some absolute nut jobs. That is a place for stable people only, pal.
Of course.
Also, I got to shout out to the fact that with Lord Alfred Hayes on commentary, that is now that I am a spoiled boy who watches AEW on the regular, and I get absolute daddy William Regal on commentary on a pretty much weekly basis, and he's just so Sir Regal, so delightful to listen to. His droll British humor and his buttery, silky voice. Lord Alfred is definitely pressing my like William Regal happy British man on commentary button. Though in my opinion, he's not doing nearly enough flirting with Sean Mooney to like really make the final cut to the top tier.
Of course.
I want to hear him hop on commentary and be like, Sean Mooney, you absolute Reese's cup of a man. I just want to lick you up and down until all your chocolate melts directly in my mouth. And have Billy Graham be like, make sure that Reese's cup is laced with steroids, dude. You want to make sure.
Yeah, brother.
Vitamins. I don't know why I also gave him a Hulk voice. Everybody's got a Hulk voice.
Especially because Billy Graham actually, if anything, has a much higher voice than Hulk Hogan. He's like up here. Oh, he's Billy Graham.
Well, yeah, you gotta lace that Reese's cup with steroids, man. You gotta make sure that shit beefs you up while you're doing it, okay?
Yeah. All right. I did note as Hogan was getting in the ring, Lord Alfred Hayes, because this is the Hulk Hogan jerk off video. Absolutely. Calls Hulk Hogan the greatest wrestler of all time, but nay. He says he is the greatest sportsman of all time, regardless of sport.
Regardless of sport. No, nobody better. All right? Who the fuck? Babe Ruth? Who?
Fuck him.
Fuck that guy. Who the hell is this Muhammad Ali poser? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Nothing rivals to the boot and the leg drop and the 1, 2, 3, my man.
Absolutely. So yes, this is WWE Cage Rules, where the goal is to not beat your opponent. The goal is to leave.
God. Oh my God. I forgot it. I legitimately forgot about that for a second. And I was so excited to see these two trapped in a cage together until I remembered that the point was them to get very much untrapped. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is fucking stupid.
Right. They do suggest they like initially say that you have to climb over the cage, and I'm like, I'd like to see Andre try.
I would love to see Andre. I just want to see a version where Andre just goes fucking like bursting through the wall of the cage, knocks it the fuck over, and hits the ground. That would be
sick. That is actually a spot that has been done multiple times in cage matches, as somebody knocks over a side panel of a cage and just leaves.
I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see either Mark Henry or Big Show do something. I'm pretty sure we saw Mark Henry do something like that.
I think we did Mark Henry do that. Big Show debuted in the WWE by interrupting a Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon steel cage match where he tried to interfere to help Vince, but he threw Stone Cold against the cage and knocked the cage wall over, and Stone Cold just rolled out and won
That's
the match.
Awesome. That's so sick. But like either way, like that the fact that that's never a spot that Andre the Giant did is fucking wasted potential. God, you could have gotten the Giant in wrestling history to do that. Well. But yeah, so it makes the shit kind of lame off the bat. So we start off the match, and like immediately Andre gets in control pretty quick, and like he just kind of immediately he takes Hulk's like torn up shirt, puts Hulk Hogan up against the wall of the
just
cage.
Starts choking him with it.
Yeah, starts choking with it. It basically sets up like a fucking like makeshift garrote with Hulk Hogan's shirt and ties it to the cage. And it's like, oh man, he's being choked. How's he gonna escape this one? Andre.
And then what happens is he leaves and he is like, hey Andre, you can just leave and win. And Andre's like, oh okay. Then he goes to go do that, and Hogan somehow gets free and stops on him.
Somehow, as if you don't look at the fucking like little setup that Andre's got there and see that there is a giant loose hole for Hogan to just casually slip his head out of whenever he wants to. Great craftsmanship there, Giant. Very proud of you.
Andre did not get his merit badge for tying knots. All right.
We don't have the Boy Scouts in France. We just learn how to.
It is Boy Scouts of America, not Boy Scouts of France.
Even if there were, I'd be too big for the uniforms. Yeah, pretty much. So Hulk Hogan, of course, escapes, and he catches Andre, and oh man, the bout's just getting started.
Yeah, Andre does a bear hug on his knees. It's like, oh, we are far from WrestleMania 3, aren't we? A whole year has passed, and this is the best Andre can do now, huh?
Poor man. Again, like, the way that this is set up allows Andre to work with what he's
Mostly do nothing.
It's slightly less apparent in a match like this.
Yeah, he gets to lean against the ropes a lot, which, yeah, I think being a cage match makes it less obvious he's doing that.
Yeah.
But he is still leaning against the side of the edge of the ring a lot.
Absolutely.
He still managed to do a fucking elbow drop. I'll give him credit for that. I was like, what?
God damn. Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, man, this might be late career Andre, but that once in a while he still was able to trot out his moves a little bit, and it's God, my head onto that guy.
Yeah. So Andre like goes to leave again, and Hogan like puts him like, I wrote in a crossface to best explain it, but it's the same kind of idea of the crossface where you like put your arms around a guy and push into his like nose.
Yeah,
but it isn't. But it's not like in a sitting submission position. It's just him doing this to Andre in the face. And while Hogan is doing that, Andre undoes the turnbuckle pad in the corner where the door is.
Yep.
And then he slams Hogan into the exposed buckle.
Oh my gosh. That's nothing but pure steel right there.
Yeah, then combined with Andre biting him in the forehead, Hogan is busted open.
Hogan fucking blades. What the hell? I didn't know he could do that.
When I want to try, dude, I can blade just fine, brother.
I didn't think, and again, that's another great way to kind of sell that Andre isn't as bad off as he is, like giving him the proper spots to get a blade from Hogan. Like, seeing Hogan bleed is an impressive thing. We didn't even get that at fucking WrestleMania 3. So seeing Hogan bleed for Andre here is kind of like this oh shit moment. So that's a smart cover up on their part, I think.
Yeah.
And then, but Hulk Hogan, of course, is
Andre tries to go for a big boot. I was like, whoa, now.
Yeah.
He misses, and Hogan, he basically does like he does a version of what he did at WrestleMania 3 where he's like just punching the Giant and then Andre staggering around.
Oh my god. This is one of those moments where I did kind of come back to the reality of, oh yeah, we're at late career Andre. Because Andre takes about like 30 seconds to just do like the slowest, most cartoony stagger around the ring imaginable. Well, Hogan just kind of stands there and watches.
And he quickly runs over to the side of the cage where
he's in the corner real fucking quick.
And so Hogan, he's punching him and he's trying to get him down. He gets the Giant down. He hits the leg drop. Hogan goes to climb out of the ring instead of walking out. And this is when Bobby Heenan runs into the ring. And he hits Hogan as he apparently he brought a foreign object, apparently, but I never saw what he was hitting him with.
I don't fucking know.
But
Yeah,
while this is so Hogan obviously is like, what do you think you're doing?
And he tries the shenanigans, and Hogan says, fuck you.
he like fucks around with Heenan, but in the background, Andre's like, "All right, I'm leaving," and what
Andre like, "Oh, don't you dare, brother!"
Andre tries to climb up and climb out of the cage, and Hogan hits Andre with whatever foreign object Heenan brought into the match. They make that point on commentary, and
again, no goddamn camera angle to see this
to show what actually happened.
We don't got a cameraman in the ring for this one. We don't even got a fucking ref in the ring. That's what's wild to me about this shit. Like, it's just the two of these dudes in the ring. The ref is outside of the ring. I forgot they did this for old Cade matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Andre, like, he knocks Andre off the wall, and what happens is Andre gets his arms wrapped up in the ropes, and so he's trapped. Hogan throws around Heenan a few more times.
Hogan says, "That's cute, eat Cage." He literally just throws fucking Heenan like directly into the wall of the cage, and Heenan just splats. Oh my god.
And then Hogan climbs out of the cage, and he is the victor.
Absolutely. I gotta give a shout out.
Hogan wins all the matches tonight.
Wow. Yeah, I kept thinking, like, are we gonna see a Hogan loss here? But no, of course not. Why the fuck would he allow a video to go to print if it showed him losing? What kind of message is that gonna send to the Hulkamaniacs, dude? It's not okay to lose, brother. Yeah, no. But I gotta fucking something I gotta give. I can't remember if I've shouted him out for this before, but God, I gotta give Andre, as much as we were saying, like, man, he and Hulk Hogan actually stack up pretty well size-wise. Something that's wild to me always about Andre is he's able to make those fucking ring ropes look like rubber. When he goes down on them, they bend directly to his will. And the fact that he's big enough to get, like, proper kind of, like, spider web tangled in the ring ropes is insane to me. Because those are, like, that's steel fucking wire underneath. Like, shit, dude. You're just that big that you can casually bend this shit to your will. What even?
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if I could grade the matches tonight of like what was the best, what was the worst. They all kind of blend together in my head.
Really? Yeah.
But you know, it was nice. It feels like if you're gonna do a Hulk Hogan compilation in 88, 89, it feels like you kind of have to include an Andre match.
Oh yeah. It was nice to have here. I always love seeing Andre. He seemed like he was just such a fucking great guy, and so anytime he shows up and is given his due as the legend he is, even if he's made to lose like a bitch to goddamn Hulk Hogan, that's always a nice positive development for me. So, you know, off to an alright start. We'll see if it keeps up.
When we cut immediately to the second match of the show, Nikolai Volkov.
In this episode is so weird.
Yeah, they just kind of cut and go straight to something else.
Yeah,
not necessarily. It's not clean. It's not always in the correct at the best point to stop.
Jesus, dude. So yeah, dude, boy, sir, I hope somebody got fined for that blunder.
Yeah. So we cut on straight from one of the Saturday night's main events. One of the early ones is Nikolai Volkov versus Hulk Hogan.
I don't think I've ever actually seen Volkov on the show before.
I have talked up Nikolai Volkov as the guy who sings the Soviet national anthem before his matches, and he did it.
He sure. Apparently, it's been a whole thing. He's there. He's sitting there fucking singing that anthem, and goddamn Freddie Blassie is next to him waving the USSR flag. Freddie Blassie, an avowed communist, apparently.
He might just hate America, considering he also was all in on the Iron Sheik shtick.
Seems Freddie Blassie did not strike me as the anti-America type, but I guess whatever it takes to get you you heat, right?
And so because this is This is Saturday night's main event. The commentary team is Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura. And Jesse Ventura, free speech absolutist on this, is obviously Vince McMahon is shocked and appalled at this, at watching Nikolai Volkov sing the Soviet national anthem and see Freddie Blassie fly that Soviet Union flag. And Jesse is like, this is America. We have free speech. If he wants to do that, he can.
But Jesse Ventura coming in like the fucking broken clock he is with his libertarian bullshit.
And then we cut back. We cut to an interview with Mean Gene and Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan wearing a white American shirt that says American made on it. And he's carrying the U.S. flag.
Carrying the U.S. flag. Also, his bandana's like just kind of crooked. And it stays crooked until he takes it off. What is up with that?
Hogan's look has not been refined at this point.
When was this?
85. This is like 85.
Oh, shit. So
this would have probably been right after WrestleMania 1. So
yeah, but like there's a difference between like Hogan's look not being refined and it just looking like he put his bandana on wrong and he doesn't feel the need to fix it. Like it's literally like crooked and like fucking bent in on itself and looks like it's almost about to come down over one of his eyes. So I think he was just having a day, really. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. But yeah, Hulk Hogan's like,
no. Mean Gene wants to know what that was about, and Hogan is like, it's one thing to sing the national anthem, the Soviet national anthem, dude, but it is too far that he has to see, and I quote, our enemy's flag in the ring.
Flag in the ring.
That's why he's carrying old Glory, the U.S. flag, to the ring.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: he doesn't specifically say it's enough to hear him singing the Soviet national anthem. He's just said, as if that singing weren't enough, dude. And I just got this flash of Hulk Hogan, hater of music and singing.
Of course.
Okay, well, music and singing whenever it's not him or his theme song.
Oh like, yeah, dude.
When my beautiful pipes, brother, are the only things that should be coming over the radio waves, dude. That and my theme song, True American. Yeah. So
but Hogan does not come out to Real American. He comes out to some patriotic jingle.
I
couldn't identify it.
Oh, I can't. I knew which one it was. I can't remember which one though. One of the ones. Picture America song in your head, like a classical America song in your head, and you basically get the effect.
Yeah. So and then he gets in the ring. I wrote Volkov Pearl Harbor's Hogan to start the match.
Absolutely. And
Volkov rips off Hogan's shirt and chokes him with the shirt.
So, again, we got a formula here.
Yeah, a lot of this match is Volkov punching Hogan because that's basically his moveset.
Yeah, I will say I was kind of hyped for Volkov to be a better worker than he kind of turned out to be. Yeah, I was a little underwhelmed.
But you see, as Vince put it, there's no classic technical wrestling here. This is just brawling.
But see, here's the thing: Ventura tried to put fucking Volkov over as like, well, they train only the best of the best amateur wrestlers, professional wrestlers over on that side of the Iron Curtain. So like. He's trying to put Volkov over as, like, a top tier, but then again, he's the heel commentator. Also, like, may I just say, I can only imagine what it must have been like for Jesse Ventura, ultimate libertarian, to be sitting here fucking holding water for, like, avowed proud communist character Nikolai Volkov. He must have been wanting to retch the whole time, and I find that delicious if he was.
And so Hogan... has a comeback sequence, this big clothesline. He hits an elbow drop, starts doing headbutts, going crazy. And then I wrote boot to Volkov as it's sort of a big boot, except it's way too close to Volkov. So it like hits him in the chest instead of in the head, in the face. But it knocks Volkov out of the ring and into the timekeeper table.
It's so wild to remember how unrefined work was back in the 80s. There are so many spots that are like so obvious as a bunch of bullshit throughout and I don't know if that's just a thing that happens in Hulk Hogan matches or if that's a thing that happens across matches as a whole. I can't remember. Like, it's been a hot minute since we've been in this era. But dear God, a lot of this shit looks so very fake. Man, the art form has come a long way. But, like, okay, a few notes from me on this one. So, Hulk Hogan, like, once he's come to the ring, he hands off stars and good old stars and stripes. And, like, there's a dude off to the side of the ring that just kind of takes the American flag and sticks it in a little stand that's just standing there on the apron just outside of the ropes. The American flag is just planted there, except this thing is clearly not like secured down, this stand, because the dude stays there for the rest of the match holding the American flag in place. And
I'd also like to point out that they have this stand for the American flag, and yet Blassie is expected to carry the communist flag.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We don't.
So it's not like they have two stands for both flags. No.
It's
the
just
U.S. flag only.
Oh yeah, fucking! You think we're gonna display that commie trash proudly on our ring? Fuck the fact that it would be a cool visual to have two opposing flags here when this is clearly like a geopolitically charged conflict in kayfabe. Oh no, fuck that! Just America, only America, only America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although I will say, Blassie holding the flag gets to something funny that'll talk about in a second. At one point, Hogan throws Volkov out of the ring and directly onto the timekeeper's table, which is like right at the edge of the ring. I always forget that was a thing back in the classic era. And I find it adorable that in kayfabe timekeepers think that putting distance between them and the ring would keep them safe. Like, there was a point at which like, people keep crashing into us. Maybe we should just
were like, we gotta back up and we'll be fine.
Back up a little bit.
And they came to them.
I can only imagine the first time a wrestler managed to crash into the newly spaced out from the ring timekeeper's table, and everyone there was just like, God damn it!
Damn it!
Just our fate forever now.
Yeah, I guess so. They fight around on the outside. Volkov, beats up on Hogan. He gets Hogan in the ring. He like press lifts Hogan over his head a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa. But that, of course, only goes into a backbreaker, and it's only for a 2 count.
And it looks like Volkov's over here, like, when he does the press up, like, it looks like he's fucking giving Hogan a wedgie. Like, he's just got Hogan's tights held up, and he's just pulling. That shit's going right into the Hulkster's ass, dude. Right into the ass crack of the Hulkster, brother. That felt good to watch. But Hogan reverses it, hits a back body drop on Volkov. Here's the thing I want to point out with Blassie, like, holding the flag, is like, so Hogan hits the back body drop on Volkov, and so Volkov's just kind of like reeling back to the floor for a second, and like while doing that, he kind of gets over to one side of the ring that Blassie was on, and Blassie takes the edge of the flag of the USSR flag and like pokes at Volkov's foot like the fucking "come on, do something" meme. That was great. I love Freddie Blassie ultimate ringside nag.
Yep, that's about right for him, I think.
Yeah, that was awesome. Then Blassie gets back on his feet and he starts hitting the Hulkster again, but oh god. Oh no.
Volkov hit a body slam to Hogan, but then he kicks out and it's Hulk out time. It's Hulk out time.
Although whoever the fuck was running camera for this did a shit job because they so did not pay attention to like they so did not like give the right focus to the Hulk up sequence. Like you just kind of see this wide shot of Hulk starting to no sell, and you're like, oh, I guess the Hulk up, and then Hulk just goes like we don't get a close up of the face. We don't get.
No, I mean, I think this is all a very unrefined time for the Hulk up sequence.
Like, this is true. This is also true. He hasn't planned to write himself yet.
He hasn't got the whole bit down yet, but because he gets up, he no sells, and then he gets up, and then he just starts like hitting Volkov with some punches, and he throws Volkov into the ring. Well, no, what happens is Hogan gets into the ring post, and Volkov tries to like hit him in the corner, and Hogan ducks out of the way, and Volkov hits his head on the turnbuckle, and he falls over, and Hogan hits the leg drop for the win.
Pretty much. Yeah, Volkov doots himself here because,
yeah,
again...
And then after the match, Hogan just nabs the flag from Blassie, and
I thought he was gonna like rip it because I'm like, that's the thing to do, right?
Yeah, but he does kind of everything but ripping it because he headbutts the flag for some fucking reason. Then he puts his foot up.
Those dirty commies.
Then he puts his foot up in the corner and shines his shoes with the flag.
And at this point, like, Jesse Ventura is like shitting himself in anger.
He thinks this is the most disrespectful thing he's ever seen.
And I was about to be like, yeah, he's about to rip the flag. That's kind of shit. Then he's like headbutting it and then shining his shoes with it. And Jesse's like, that's the most disgraceful thing you can ever do with another country's flag. And I would know as somebody who cares very much about countries other than America.
And then he like takes it and he basically just like throws it on the ground and kind of spits on it or something. And then he grabs the American flag and rah, America has won again.
You know, I wonder, going back to we're talking about the formula here, and like we're doing the Murica part of the formula, and we got the Hulk up, we got the boot and the leg drop and the 1, 2, 3. I wonder if we rewind for a second. I had a thought. What happens if someone just stops hitting Hogan during the Hulk up sequence?
That's impossible. Nobody can do that.
What are they like? Does he give off like a pheromone?
Listen, it's like how in John Cena, when he hits you with a flying shoulder tackle, you can't help but stand there and let him hit you with a second one. And then you also can't help but then throw a wild haymaker, which you will miss, and then he will scoop you up and slam you out of the haymaker. It's hard to explain these things. When Shawn Michaels is standing in a corner like a dumbass and is just like stomping his foot on the ground, every fucking wrestler is like, I wonder why he's doing that. They turn around and get kicked in the face with sweet chin music.
Jesus Christ. Man, you know what? You're right. I feel like so much can be explained by just each wrestler giving off like very specific pheromones that can't help but make someone,
like when Hogan is like starting to have the shakes and he just starts no selling your move there, you have no other option but to continue to try to punch him.
You know, for those of you who I am an educator at heart. I have the honor of getting to teach to teach the youth of America today, and I was teaching a class today wherein and this is not me doing a bit. This is all completely true. Where we were doing a theater class specifically. We were doing an improv exercise, and it was all about tactics. We had learned from my co-teacher some theater principles, the Lobbin principles, which are all about like the different ways in which you can express yourself on stage, the speed, the speed you use, the weight you have, and the way you take up space, and kind of how combining all those things create all these different affects. And we were doing this exercise that was about like using those affects to get what you wanted from someone else. And it was hilarious. It was a bunch of middle schoolers, and they were just they would a lot of them they'd like do an affect, and their scene partner would be unmoved by this affect, and they just like keep doing it, and I'd be like, no, wait, you got to switch up tactics, and I'd say that, and then they'd keep doing the thing again, and I'm like, no, you can't just, if it doesn't work the first time, why are you? But you know what? Maybe it's just in human nature to never actually change up your tactics. We're all just dumb fucks who can't help but be like, I think I'll just try it again. We're all insane, actually.
Maybe this next punch will be the one that works.
Maybe it will turn out this time. Oh God, yeah.
They just keep attacking Hulk Hogan during invincibility when he has invincibility frames, and they just like me playing any video game. I refuse to learn boss fight patterns. True. Every other wrestler is like that. They refuse to learn boss fight patterns. And patterns.
What do Austin and the entire classic WWF roster have in common? They could never beat Dark Souls. Heyo!
That is very true.
but okay, then humor me for a second. In the impossible world where someone just stops hitting Hogan during the Hulk out segment, what do you think happens?
I feel I would argue that it's almost like too late. Like once something has clicked in Hogan's brain, that it's already too late. That he is just gonna be like you, and then he hits his moves and he wins.
So I think so we're already past the point of no return. Do you remind us?
It's all just like desperate hope that you can stop this.
You know what? That's fair. For some reason, I was thinking, I had it in my mind that the way this goes actually he needs those extra hits during the Hulk up sequence, and if someone stops, he'd just kind of stop shaking and be like, "What? You're supposed to keep hitting me, brother. How am I supposed to Hulk up if you stop hitting me, brother?" And then the sequence aborts. We gotta
have a talk with Vince backstage, dude. Why did you stop punching me and let me Hulk up, dude?
Why'd you stop? In kayfabe, he's saying that. Not even out of kayfabe. He's like, you don't understand, brother. I'm supposed to win these fights, dude. Yeah. I don't know. I would love to see a version of this where someone just stops hitting him and it aborts the sequence and he just kind of falls over dead.
He falls over and you can just pin him.
Yeah. He's like, wait, I didn't account for this. Again. Yeah. I don't know. Just a fun little thought experiment, I think. But yeah, so we running it back forward. Hulk Hogan has disrespected the commie flag. What an American hero. And now let me sing the praises on Mike.
Because we'll put a boot in your ass for the red, white, and blue, dude.
We'll put a boot in your ass and drop their leg drop and they hit the 1, 2, 3. That's the American way. And Hulk Hogan put your name at the top of his list. Anyway.
Oh, man. Bro, shit ass bro country gave us so much during the post 9/11 years.
Okay, but now I need shit-ass bro country Hulk Hogan remix where everything but America is replaced with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, man.
And the Hulkster and the Hulkamaniacs started shaking their fists. Yeah, fuck me, dude. Now let me sing the praises of trickle-down economics to you, brother.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Hulk Hogan hops on the mic. and it's like that's why you should vote for. That's why it's common sense economics to vote for Reaganomics, brother.
Listen, there was a credible threat in Iraq, dude. We had to go in there, brother.
They had WMDs, brother.
They had WMD. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. They had WMDs.
And I, like the U.S. government, never lie. If there's one thing neither I nor the U.S. government are, it's pathological liars, brother.
Of course not, brother.
Of course not, dude.
You can take my word to the bank. Dude.
Oh my god. Okay. So anyway, next segment.
We another Saturday night's main event match. This time, King Haku. Versus Hulk Hogan.
Help me out here. What the fuck does the governmental system of the WWE look like? There are so many kings here, Austin.
Well, it's actually one continuous lineage.
Okay.
King.
Is King Haku part of King of the Ring? Is that
yes.
the King of the Ring? Okay. I thought King Haku might be something different because I didn't realize King of the Ring fucking existed back when
it wasn't a pay-per-view that aired on TV until 1993. Before that, it was just a thing they did on house shows, and then on TV they were like, "Yes, yeah, he's King of the Ring now."
Don't think about it too hard. It's only
let me see if I can find the proper lineage of the King of the Ring.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. We also have Jerry the King Lawler, and I don't think he is part of the King of the Ring lineage. I think he's just his own king.
He is the King of Memphis. He is not part of the lineage of the King of the Ring.
How is it sustainable politically to have so many dignitaries under one roof?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Is that in the mid 80s, it wasn't just that you won a tournament, is that you also could just beat a guy for the crown and you're the king.
So it was like a title. It was just a different title.
Sort of. So, okay. So what happened is Harley Race, we remember him from WrestleMania 3. He was the king. He was the king.
King Harley Race.
He is the second king after Don Morocco was the original King of the Ring. But then Harley Race suffers an injury, and thus Bobby Heenan crowned Haku as the king, as the new king.
And what did Haku absence to deserve this lineage exactly?
Bobby Heenan was his manager.
Okay, fair enough. Bobby Heenan's like, I'm gonna pull some strings for you, man.
And then Haku lost the crown to Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Ugh.
So we had King Hacksaw for a brief few months, and then Macho Man Randy Savage beat him after his heel turn.
Really?
And he became the Macho King.
The Macho King. I didn't realize he was part of the lineage. That's kind of sick.
Yes. And then after that, he gave up the crown when he had his career-ending match at WrestleMania 7 against the Ultimate Warrior. Very funny. And after that, it only became the king. The only king was the one who won the tournament. So
that's interesting.
Right now, Haku.
Haku
is the third king of the WWE. Long may he reign.
I hope it is a long reign indeed. I'm sure it will be. So, clarifying question: when you became the king, back in the days where you could just beat someone else for the thing, did it also still have to periodically go up to did the crown also periodically have to go up for grabs at a tournament, even if there was already a sitting king back then? How did that work?
They kind of just had the tournament, but then they didn't acknowledge that the winner was the king. During this entire period of time where it's Harley Race is the king, and then Haku becomes the king. In that period of time, Randy Savage won the tournament in 87 and Ted DiBiase won it in 88. But they were not acknowledged as the proper king of the WWE.
Acknowledge me.
This is some Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire lore here as we dissect the proper lineage of the kings.
So what I'm hearing is that Roman Reigns would have actually, his gimmick would have fit best as a late 80s King of the Ring winner who actually was not ever called king and was really salty about that fact. As he's just going on mic being like, but
acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. Everyone's bowing down to Haku, and he's like, "No, acknowledge me. I am the king. Yeah,
I am the king.
I am the king." Okay, so and nowadays it's just you're king for a year and then new tournament.
Well, it's more of your king until they decide to bring the tournament back, which is not necessarily a year annual basis. The last way they did it is basically they had a year annual pay-per-view until 2002. Then in 2006, they made it a SmackDown exclusive tournament on television. Where that is how Booker T became King Booker. And then in 2008, William Regal won the King of the Ring, and he became the king. And then he got popped for PED. And he got popped for some PEDs. And there goes that whole push. So fuck off. And then
my poor boy.
In 2010, Sheamus won the tournament to become the king. And then in 2015, Wade Barrett won the tournament to become the king. And then in 2019, Baron Corbin won the tournament to become the king. And then Xavier Woods in 2021 is the newest and most recent king.
King Xavier. I know. King Woods. I'm so happy that King Woods is the thing, dude. God, the New Day getting recognized feels so good. Okay. Yes. So anyway.
Now we understand how King Haku is the proper king.
King Haku is here, and he gets carried on a throne by a bunch of jobbers, and fucking who all look vaguely miserable doing this. And they're like, whatever it takes to get my career off the ground. And then we cut to a promo, an interview segment between Mean Gene and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and so it
was like, King Haku, huh? I didn't vote for you.
Well, first it references that is Hulk Hogan okay after beating by the Big Boss Man. As right now, if you can believe it, Big Boss Man, whose gimmick is a correctional officer, is a heel right now. Dude. He started in the WWF as a heel cop in 1988.
Well, yeah. We gotta have every department's got their bad apples, brother.
And then they will,
There's no systemic problem. It's just a bad apple, brother.
Well, is he? Bad apple. There's a few bad apples, dude.
Bad apples, brother.
The Big Boss Man, of course, would then turn babyface, and all of his I beat people with a nightstick is treated as fun babyface comeuppance.
Oh yeah. The totally normal relationship with the cop in our society.
Let me check something on the Rodney King brutality for a second. Okay, so this is This all is pre-Rodney King.
King.
We're good. But
We're okay.
Anyway, Gene asks him if he's okay after Big Boss Man kicked his ass, and Hogan's like, "Hey, beat me like a dog, and every dog has its day." Hogan, you're mixing metaphors. Stop. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that.
And then he's like about the king, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's telling all my Hulkamaniacs. He's telling all my Hulkamaniacs dude to bow. Nobody tells my Hulkamaniacs what to do." What?
Yeah, apparently the Hulkamaniacs are an anarchic collective.
Also, what? You tell them what to do all the time.
Yeah,
You're always like, say your prayers and eat your vitamins.
Well, I don't need you to think about that one, brother.
But yeah, he's basically like, I don't acknowledge no kings, dude. And then he asks him well, what are you gonna do about Bobby Heenan at ringside? He's like, well, don't worry. He brings out Miss Elizabeth, who he explains is on loan from Randy Savage.
My God. My God. That shit is hilarious.
So Miss Elizabeth is out here to be his manager, and then she goes, well, come on, Hulkster, we have a date. And what did you just say, Elizabeth?
Oh, and it gets worse.
What did you have?
Yeah, he's like, on loan from my Mega Powers partner for extra inspiration. And oh my God, I remember you telling me about what broke up the Mega Powers was essentially them doing the whole Randy Savage is jealous about Miss Elizabeth and Hulk Hogan thing. And fucking justified. Hulk Hogan is so goddamn weird around Elizabeth. It definitely comes off as flirty as fuck.
Mm-hmm. And so I can only imagine that Randy Savage is coping and seething over Elizabeth saying that she has a date with Hogan.
Oh God, yeah. So, but they go out there and Vince and
Elizabeth tries to hold the ropes open for Hogan like she has to do for Randy Savage, and Hogan's like, nah, dude, I hold the ropes open for you to get in the ring.
Again, not weird, not flirty.
Nothing
for you to worry about, Savage.
And then I wrote Jesse hates chivalry as Vince tries to like hype this up as kingly chivalry, and Jesse's like, this looks more like the actions of a peasant to me.
This shit's for peasants. Jesse Ventura, famous hater of the proletariat. Actually, no, that's not even a joke. That was true.
Yeah, all right. So I admit I was distracted doing some discourse about the upcoming Taylor Swift set list for her live tour. So
my God.
I admit I missed most of this match, so you're gonna have to take care of this one for me.
Oh God, I don't write the spot notes. All right, so here's what I got. So Vince talking about the interview that Hogan and Elizabeth did with Mean Gene before the match. Vince says he is also inspired by Elizabeth. Gag. I don't know, just some bullshit's going on. Fucking Vince, not Vince. Hogan's just doing his thing.
I'm convinced. I am convinced this match was functionally similar to the first two we've already covered here.
Yeah,
Haku gets his hits in. Hogan is down.
There's a little bit of like. Well, that's the thing. Heenan's also here, and there's also like Heenan shenanigans on the side. What are you gonna do? Wait, was Heenan here? Heenan was here, right?
Heenan was with Haku.
Yeah. Heenan's here. There are Heenan shenanigans on the side. Fucking on the outside, there's some bullshit with like, I don't know. Hogan gets thrown out. Haku pursues him. Elizabeth's there and maybe gets like vaguely knocked down at one point. Something like that. Poor Elizabeth's getting met.
I noted that when I checked back into the match, I noticed Haku hits Bobby Heenan and Heenan has to get taken to the back.
Yeah.
And at this point, while Haku is like, oh shit, I hit Bobby Heenan. Hogan, this thief, just grabs the crown of Haku and just wears it around for a minute.
Yeah, okay. Before that though, so something happens with Elizabeth, and Ventura wonders aloud on commentary why. Oh no, vice versa. No, here's what happens. So Heenan's like, being all, I'm gonna surreptitiously help my client, with Haku, and of course Ventura is extolling the virtues of this on commentary, and then he goes on to opine why Elizabeth won't offer physical help to Hogan, and I'm like, I think I know why she won't offer. I think I have a really good guess as to why Miss Elizabeth will not offer physical help to Hulk Hogan, considering who she's married to. But yes,
I can see the lust in your eyes, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I'm sure Savage heard that line about physical help to Hogan. He almost combusted. Yeah, but yes, maljunction at the function, and Hogan steals Haku's crown. True American right here, folks. Not only a blatant thief, but one who is happy to parade himself as a king, in America.
Of course.
He's the true American here.
And then we get back in the ring, and Hogan starts hulking up, dude.
He finally
does the whole sequence as you probably think of it. He does the shaking thing. Then he stops, and he's like, no, dude. And then punch, and then big boot, and then leg drop. Goodbye.
Pretty much. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, he's done.
Yeah, and then after the match, Elizabeth gets in the ring with Hogan, and she kind of sometimes lightly does the ear cup thing that Hogan does with him. And I did write this because I thought this was amusing in how dumb it sounds. Is Jesse's like, well, why doesn't Elizabeth pose? And with Hogan, and Vince goes, well, she does it in her own way.
And she just stands there golf clapping for Hogan.
Yeah.
What a pose. A pose posing a famously dynamic and movement-filled action.
Yes.
Also, while Hulk is like doing his flexing taunt after the match, I did notice there was like this one dude on the side of like behind the barricade on the side who like is doing the flex taunt along with Hogan. He looks like a total like matchstick dweeb. Like he's in like a fucking baby blue sweater, has glasses, like a blonde Ken doll haircut, and he's flexing right along with Hogan. Man, I hope he saw that, King.
Yep. And so after the match, after that, the posing is done. Hogan picks up Elizabeth and sits her on his shoulder to carry her off. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna get you back for that, Hogan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He loves putting Elizabeth up on his shoulder. And again, fuck Randy Savage and all of his like deeply like attachment problems, but also, you know, in kayfabe, he kind of had a point with this one.
He absolutely had a point to be made.
He absolutely. And then we cut back to Mean Gene in the control room again, and he reminds us we're watching Coliseum Home video. Thank you very much for that, Mean Gene.
Thank you for that. 40 minutes into the VHS, you're like, by the way, it's Coliseum Home video. Like, thanks. I knew that.
Shit! I forgot we were watching. Oh, Gene, thank you. You're a lifesaver. I couldn't remember. Like, fuck.
It's as if this is like taped for TV, but I'm pretty sure this has never aired on television.
Yeah, that's the thing. It like has what feels like should be commercial cuts.
Like you're coming back from a commercial break, but you're reminded, and you're telling the audience who's just tuning in what's on TV right now.
I kind of hope that they did try to get this on TV and just got shot the fuck down.
Yeah. But this is when Gene talks about how Hogan was champion for 4 years and how great he was, because this last match is the one and only WWE title match of the show. Ted DiBiase versus Hulk Hogan. And this was like some house show shit. I forgot. I must have forgotten to make a note about this. But
before we can get into the match, we of course need to visit the promised land, ladies and gentlemen. The Hulk Hogan workout montage. Holy shit. This is so wild. It's so weird. First of all, somewhere out there, Claire is beaming because it's so very gay.
It's uncomfortable thinking of seeing Hulk Hogan sweat this hard in a gym. It's a little uncomfortable to watch.
And we do like they just keep doing this weird shots where it'll show him like doing a move for a second, and then just like at a random point midway through the workout move, it just freeze frames on it for a couple seconds.
They were playing with some basic movie maker editing techniques here.
Oh my god.
They're having some fun out there.
They were all in on it. They also had some very unflattering shots of Hogan during this. Every time he was like laying down in a supine position, his fucking head looked like it was trying to retreat back into his neck. Like he's in the middle of withdrawing into a fucking turtle shell. 5 chins ass motherfucker over here with just the goofiest expression of exertion on his face, like eyes bulged out, making this like wide grimace with his face as his face becomes totally flat to his neck. His chin disappears. Oh my god. Even their attempt at like showing how hot Hogan is while he works out fails miserably in the face of just Hogan's naturally goofy bullshit.
Yeah.
Also, this didn't have any clips of Hulk Hogan deeply injecting steroids, so obviously this is an inaccurate portrayal of his workout regimen. And what's his nuts from earlier is very disappointed in everyone involved.
Yeah, some clanging and banging was happening here.
Oh, I love clanging and banging with my boy Hulk Hogan.
If only Hulk Hogan had his best clanging and banging partner with him, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. But this was a Hulk solo video, and God, did I not need to see any of it.
Nah, man. It was this video, Austin, would have been incomplete without it. I felt like I understood him so much better after watching the extremely sweaty workout segment.
I feel like I understand him too much.
Also, shout out to the fact that even when he's working out, he's wearing a shirt with like the fucking like progressively longer cuts along the back of it. I gotta wonder who pre-cuts Hulk's shirts. Like, does he just have a guy for that? Does he have a dude that he just throws all of his shirts to be like, hey, I need you to cut this up for me, brother? You think Linda does it? You think Linda Hogan just diligently pre-cuts these little slits in the back of all of her husband's shirts? And like, if she misses somebody,
I want to believe that.
I think that instead of like doing ironing for him, she just like sits there and diligently, like, he's got a fucking like nice dress shirt and she's just diligently like cutting little slits into little snip on the back of everything he wears on his torso gets a snip like that, brother.
Yep.
So anyway, so we come to the final match,
yeah,
and
finally back to the match.
Oh boy!
So we got Ted DiBiase here. He's got his black manservant, Virgil.
Ain't nothing problematic about that, brother.
No. And
he's got Andre. He's got Andre.
Andre's here too. And the commentary team for this house show match.
Oh baby!
Holy All-Star
team. All-Star team.
On play-by-play, we have Bruce Pritchard, who is probably best known at this point for being a WWE backstage Vince McMahon producer.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, he would be only really known for, and I don't even know if he's even had this character yet, is introduced Brother Love, who is a parody of Southern Baptist preachers. But he just preaches about love.
Have we gotten Brother Love on? Because I know we have Dude Love, obviously, as Mick Foley. Have we gotten Brother Love on the show before?
I don't believe we have, but like he paints his face up really red, like he's sweating, like an old Southern preacher, and he's got the affectation, and he's just like, I love you.
And to what end? Like what did he use this for on TV?
To be a heel manager, interviewee person.
Sure, fine.
Fun fact, he was the original manager of The Undertaker before we put him with before we got Paul Bearer. He was introduced to the WWE canon. The Undertaker was introduced by Brother Love.
Wait, fuck. Okay, I've heard about this. I could never remember who it was, but I knew that Taker had a manager before Paul Bearer, which is just wild. And also, what the fuck is it doing being Brother Love?
That's a good question that I don't have an answer to.
They never gave it a thematic through line. It was just like, hey, here's a Southern Baptist preacher and his like zombie friend.
His Confederate zombie friend or something. I don't know.
Zombie friend or something.
I don't know.
They're both from the South, I guess.
But so we got Bruce Pritchard on the play-by-play. And on face collar commentary duty, we have Mike McGuirk. Who, despite the name, is actually a woman. Michelle McGuirk.
Like, holy shit, woman on commentary in the 80s? That's new and also based.
But don't worry, she's as bad as I remember her being at WrestleMania 2.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
And then on heel color commentary, we have Pete Doherty, who as a wrestler was a jobber known as the Duke of Dorchester. And holy shit, he is wild and out. He is a poor man's Bobby Heenan on commentary.
Okay. Pete Doherty is you know like the I'm walking here joke that exists.
Oh yeah, he's right here.
And then got a zillion times worse after that one fucking Rick and Morty episode. Like That's what he is. He is like that meme, like coming pre-flanderized. He is screaming everything in his eye, in his like insanely gruff "I'm walking here" voice, and it shoots the moon from insanely stupid to deeply hilarious.
It is. I couldn't help but laugh at this guy during this match.
I got some no. I don't always write down like direct quotes from commentators. I got some direct quotes from this motherfucker here. So anyway, yeah. So
honestly, this is a lot of a Hogan match.
Wow,
Hogan,
like formulaic or something.
Hogan finds excuses to bring Virgil into the ring so he can whoop Virgil's ass too.
Oh, I'm sure Hulk Hogan takes a lot of delight in whipping Virgil's ass.
Well, I gotta tell you something, Virgil. If you ever are in a position to date my adult daughter, then I can't abide by that dude.
Man, we beat that dead horse so good. Anyway,
we beat that dead horse just like Hulk Hogan beat that dead horse saying the N-word after his sex tape.
Hey-o! It'll never get old. Anyway, so
Hogan tries to goad Andre the Giant to get in the ring and fight, and Andre's like, no.
Hogan's ostensibly here to fight DiBiase. He's really here to fight Andre. He just wants Andre. He's like,
well, because he recognizes DiBiase is no threat to him.
Literally, is this pre or post DiBiase just getting Andre to do his dirty work for him against Hogan?
This is pre, because Hogan's still the champion. This is when DiBiase is trying to win the belt himself and not have Andre do it and then just hand it to him.
And Hogan's like, I'm gonna clown on all you, brother, and also I want Andre anyway. And Heenan's, or not Heenan, DiBiase's like, all right, you want Andre? Fucking bet.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Actually, that's a good idea strategically. I could just have Andre do it for me.
You've just given me a great idea.
Hulk was like, no, wait a second, brother.
Yeah, I don't even remember at what point in the match this happened. Probably somewhere. As I wrote Pete Doherty yelling, he's gonna get beef.
That's just a quote. I want to put that on a shirt. He's gonna get beef. He's gonna get beef.
I can only assume now this I think this is another Doherty quote, is after they're on the outside and DiBiase is like hitting Hogan in the head, and Hulkster definitely gotta have a headache now.
Yeah, I remember that one. And then DiBiase rolls into the ring, and I guess there was I must have missed this, but I guess there was some hoopla earlier about the fact that like Hogan threw DiBiase to the outside and was in like complete control, and of course Doherty was getting all about it. But so now Hogan's on the outside, DiBiase rolls into the ring, and Doherty was just nothing but pride in his voice, just screams, "Now look who's in the ring and who's out, huh?"
Oh man.
What?
This is truly the WWF D team on commentary.
I don't know what you're talking about, Austin. I have never had more fun listening to commentary than I have listening to the fucking the ace team, the crack team of Bruce Pritchard, Mike McGuirk, and Pete Doherty.
I wish I had something to say about Mike McGuirk in the same vein as Pete Doherty, but no, because all she does is make super obvious observations.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's like, so Bruce Pritchard's doing this play-by-play. Pete Doherty is just constantly foaming at the mouth, and Mike McGuirk is just like, wow, that was a wrestling move.
Wow, I bet that really hurt. And Hogan is the one person who can't be bought off by DiBiase.
Thank you. That none of us knew that. That was very crucial moving the storyline. Also, while Hogan's on the outside, Virgil starts taunting Hogan with money. what? Like, he just waves a few bills in Hogan's face. Is like, what is that? What?
It honestly looked like he was trying to like fan Hogan awake with
Yeah,
the dollar bills.
is he trying to be like, you can't have this money, or like, is he like, maybe he is trying to fan Hogan awake, and he's like, Hulkster, please, you gotta get me out of here. I really fucking hate working for this guy. Please, God help. I need your help.
Now, Virgil is about 4 years away from his realization that DiBiase is a piece of shit.
Wow. Takes him that
like,
long.
I was putting the timeline on it. This match takes place in 87. 91 is when he breaks away from DiBiase.
And like face turns and gets something for it.
Well, when he fights DiBiase for the first time, the crowd is super into it. And then, unfortunately, Virgil is both a bad wrestler and bad as a face character who has to like cut promos and shit. And so,
he
it all kind of falls apart from there.
Unfortunate. Yep. Yeah. So, Hogan gets put back in the ring, but he's right on the edge. He's by the ropes, and DiBiase starts ostensibly putting the boots to Hogan, but goddamn, again on the subject of what the fuck is the work in this era, like the camera is like behind Hogan, and it even from that angle, it just kind of looks like DiBiase's boots aren't hitting anything but the floor. Like, looks like he's supposed to be booting Hulk in the head. Sure as hell doesn't look like he's actually connecting by any stretch of the imagination.
No. Later is Hogan gets back on top here, and so he knocks down DiBiase, and then Hogan just starts like walking on back and forth on DiBiase's back, like just stepping on him, which is such a heel move from any other wrestler.
Isn't that a Hogan? Isn't that like part of the Hogan menu though? Sometimes I think
I don't think I've ever seen him do this.
Okay, well then maybe I'm crazy.
I've certainly never seen a babyface do it.
But again, he's Hogan. He's doing it for the disrespect, and you can fucking get away with it.
So he just starts walking back and forth on DiBiase's back, and he gets over to the ropes, and Andre grabs his leg, and suddenly the bell rings, and I'm like, what? And I don't think, and this is what the announcer says. I wrote this in quotes because this kind of fuck up dumbassery can be put on tape. He goes, the referee has awarded the match. The referee has demanded Andre leave the ring area and has been fined $2,000.
Yeah, okay. So my man's about to say like the match has been forfeited in favor of Hogan, and then he just stops because I guess he didn't get the memo properly. And then Andre's ejected and fined $2,000.
They specifically call out the fine on this.
Which, like, what did he grabbed Hogan's leg? Since fucking when do you get a $2,000 fine for that? And that's the most selectively applied bullshit. After fucking in the cage match, Bobby Heenan's over here like entering the cage directly. Oh no, that's fine. But if Andre the Giant like grabs Hogan by the ankles for a second, $2,000 fine, you absolute fucking criminal. Get out of here.
Yeah, and some dudes in polos who are ostensibly WWE officials come to take him away. They're
like arguing with him for like the next 5 minutes.
So they take him away, and clearly at some point, I suppose DiBiase is back on the offensive, because I got another Pete Doherty quote. He's gonna get him tonight.
And then not long after,
we got another. He does a lot of fist dropping. Bam.
Okay,
bam,
that
bam.
shit looks fake as fuck too.
It does very much. So.
Oh my god, where is the Impact, motherfuckers?
But he does the Impact is not until like 2001.
You're hilarious.
Anyway, I am, as a matter of fact. So DiBiase pins him, and he kicks out, and he's hulking up now.
Also, while this sequence is happening, good old Mike McGurk makes sure to point out to us in commentary that, yep, these men are in fact sweating profusely. Thank you for that.
Yeah, she brings that up during, like, she's like showing like how hard of a fight this has been. Look at how hard these two men are sweating.
It's not just that Hulk Hogan and Ted DiBiase are incredibly sweaty men, as proved by that fucking workout tape. No. It's just proof that what an epic bout this is, that these men are just sweating profusely. Thanks for that, Mike. Very helpful.
And so in the middle of the Hulk up sequence, before he can hit the leg drop, Virgil pops up to interfere, and Hogan just chokes out Virgil.
Okay. I do have to say, on the subject of the Hulk out sequence, I think I've pinpointed the exact choreography. I have now gotten 4 fucking Hulk up sequences in a row, and I think I have come to understand the exact choreography sequence that goes along with the Hulk out, and it goes as such. We start off first with a move called "Every Man Should Spend More Time on His Knees," as he kneels there, no selling all these hits, and then his face engages in a move I like to call "Do Your Best Fish Impression," as his eyes bulge out and his lips get all like pursed and pushed out, and he starts like breathing deep, and I'm like, oh, look, fishy. Then you stand up and do a move that I like to call look like the whitest guy at a black church when the Holy Spirit really starts to hit, and then of course you finish off with the inspiration for no, not in my house, not today. I think that's pretty accurate. I think I got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And okay, so Hogan is choking out Virgil, and DiBiase tries to come over to attack Hogan while Hogan's back is turned, and Hogan somehow knows that DiBiase is there, and he steps out of the way, and junction malfunction happens, and Hulk Hogan wins with a fucking roll up.
God. Yeah, motherfucker doesn't even hit the leg drop sequence this time. Man, I wonder how you can tell that this is a fucking house show.
This is some house show bullshit.
Also, I feel like malfunction at the junction has to be included as part of the Hulk Hogan formula. I think that's an underappreciated aspect. Is the heels always got a malfunct at the junction?
When the heels try to like get the numbers game on Hogan, they inevitably just beat each other up.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, as part of his absolute like insanity, vibrates at a frequency that just inherently but messes with your mind and causes you to crash and burn on any devious plans you may have against him, actually.
Of course, that explains a lot. Absolutely. So Hogan wins, and then Hogan tries to like taunt DiBiase into getting back in the ring so he can kick his ass some more.
Of course.
Gracious winner, Hulk Hogan.
Oh my God. He's a proud man. He's a gracious man, and he will fucking kick your ass. He'll keep doing it, brother.
And then Ted DiBiase looks like the stupidest motherfucker I think I've ever seen on a wrestling show, because what he does is, okay, DiBiase goes to grab a steel chair because he's like, you know what? All right, I will get back in the ring, and I'm coming with a chair. And so DiBiase, instead of getting into the ring with the chair, he just like tosses it over the ropes, and Hulk Hogan immediately picks up the chair.
He doesn't even pick it up. He catches that shit out of midair.
He catches it, and then he sits down in it, and DiBiase starts pounding the apron as if, God, my villainous plan has failed.
My flawless plan. How did again? The frequency at which Hulk Hogan vibrates just fucks with your head and makes you do something stupid every time. You can't help it. And more bangers on commentary between our two favorite commentators. Mike McGuirk just goes, "That's wonderful. That's our champion." And Pete Doherty responds with, "Ha! Give me a break." And Mike McGuirk just responds with,
yells, "Justice prevails."
Well, no, not yet. She goes, "That's our champion." Doherty goes, "Ha! Give me a break." And Mike McGuirk just says, "That's what DiBiase was saying." Thank you, McGuirk. I also need to point out that just McGuirk and Doherty are operating on opposite ends of the volume spectrum. Like, everything Mike McGuirk says is just a little too quiet, and everything Doherty says is just a little too loud in any given situation. So hearing them back and forth is like jumping from like a 1 to an 11. It's great. Also, like, but Pete Doherty might just be the Quaaludes guy. I was like, man, his voice sounds familiar. I think he just might be the Quaaludes guy. Hey, the big man is back. www.thekidfrombrooklyn.com. You know, I could go for a fucking Quaalude. The absolute roar. I tell you, when you had an orgasm, it made you feel like you were in heaven. I think he's just the Quaaludes guy. And if so, rip in peace, King. And you know, so Hulk Hogan has officially prevailed. Ted DiBiase's plan of throwing a chair directly into his hands has, shocker of all shockers, failed miserably. And so Hulk Hogan is doing all his taunts. He's flexing, and even Pete Doherty, while bitching about Hogan, can't help but get him over by going, "Just because he's got 22-inch biceps. What a show off. What a show off." And it's at this point that Mike McGuirk, with all the gusto she can muster, goes, "Justice prevails." Thank you, Mike. Very cool.
This is great. And then we go back to the studio with Mean Gene. And he's just like, I am just so proud to be associated with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I bet you are. Man, props to Mean Gene for selling a line like that. I love it. I love the fact that man is able to just say anything and make it sound like he actually means it, despite the pain I can see behind his eyes. Okay, but here's the thing about this last shot with Mean Gene. So, in this last shot with Mean Gene, like, because it's in a control room, right? And just in this last shot, randomly, there's a dude, like, in the background just, like, fucking with one of the audio devices while Mean Gene is talking. And as I look closer at that, I realized I think Mean Gene is sitting in front of a green screen and then is having this shit superimposed behind him. Cause like I noticed like the little
I would believe that,
which makes it all the funnier that they had a random sound guy wander into the shot when they could have just put him in front of a fucking still image of the backdrop. What the fuck?
Only the best for the Coliseum Home videos. And we got to have
top quality. All right? Here at Coliseum. Fuck.
All right. And so we cut to the credits roll and we are out of here. We've already kind of we opened the second half talking about how this video kind of sucks as a highlight of Hogan because it highlights all of the worst parts of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, no. And again, what we get throughout this whole thing is just, like, the way this video is, it almost makes it feel like the circumstances around Hulk Hogan are what, like, propel him into being as over as he is. Because he's just surrounded by all these characters, and he's so, like, his gimmick is so, like, it feels weird to say. His gimmick is normal compared to, like, everyone else. Like, he's surrounded by all these, like, insanely, like, devious comedic goofballs. And, like,
he is the one sane man?
Fucking weirdo.
Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan is an insane weirdo. Don't get me wrong. But, like, his actual character is just the good guy, and also kind of Murica. Like, he just gives off protagonist vibes by default. Like, that's the thing. His character isn't any more developed than any of the other just kind of like vaguely virtuous babyface of the era. He's just also insane. And so that means he gets to get put up against all these other characters. Like, that's the thing I think that I took away from this, is that, like, a lot of times the situations surrounding Hulk Hogan are what made it feel like the Hulk Hogan character itself was interesting. That and the fact that Terry Bollea is just fucking crazy. Like, that's it.
I think it worked. I think Hogan works because he goes all in and he has just the right amount of like coked up insanity.
Yeah,
he hits the perfect sweet spot on it. Yeah. And I think this match a compilation tape does in fact not do enough to showcase him hitting the perfect balance of coked out insanity.
Yeah, no, it makes him seem like the boring one amongst all this stuff. Like, he's just the stalwart, virtuous good guy. And again, if you were someone back in the 80s who had yourself deluded into the fact that you liked Hogan because of his work, because of his in-ring work, like, fine, this is the tape for you. And while Hulk Hogan's, like, actually doing the matches, your mind is just screensavering to a bunch of like highlights of Hulk Hogan promos that's got you going like, yeah, man, Hulk Hogan's the best, Hulk Hogan forever, Hulkamania,
yeah,
never stop. Meanwhile, like, the match is going on and it's just the same shit over and over.
Yeah, man. Hogan can work. I give him more credit than I think a lot of more hardcore wrestling fans do.
Yeah,
but it is formulaic and it is limited in many ways. And watching a bunch of his matches back to back only serves to highlight that.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, fuck, even the cage match, Andre just by default ends up being the slightly more physically interesting one. And this is like Andre in the sunset of his career, when he's like in pain and needing to lean against the ropes constantly. Just like what makes that match with Hogan interesting is the fact that Andre is there. Yeah. So, like, man, this was fun in the same way the last one was fun, of just being like, what the fuck was going on in WWE?
Yeah, but I don't know if I can recommend watching this one the same way. I'd probably say you should watch bloopers, bleeps, and body slam.
Damn it! You almost did it.
I almost did it. Yeah, like I would almost recommend old Triple B to somebody with a heavy dose of like go in with an open mind of this insane bullshit. This, I don't know if I'd recommend anyone watch this one myself.
Yeah, no. It was fun enough for the podcast, gave me shit to riff on, but also, dear God, guys, if you're gonna like promote your top star like this, do it better.
Yeah.
Actually know what makes him work, please.
Yes, that'd be great. So that is enough for this time. Next time, what a finale we reach next time, as we are finally here from episode 3 to episode 93. We are here for the season 1 finale of Lucha Underground season 1. Ultima Lucha Part 2.
Holy shit. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't believe we're here. And we still got 3 fucking seasons to go. Oh boy, we're still just getting started on the Lucha Underground train. But here we go. An apex has been reached. Season 1 finale. Fucking A. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yep. But that is for next time. Until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. Dear friends, thank you all so much for joining us for yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. We are so delighted to have you here. Returning listeners, viewers, what have you. You know the drill. Thanks for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs. You know we love you. Just keep on doing what you're doing, huh? New people, hey, hi, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you are brand new to the wild, wacky world of wrestling or you're a veteran of all this stupid bullshit, either way, we hope you had a great time here. We hope you want to keep having a great time with us week after week. If you'd like to do so but you're not entirely sure how, well, not to worry, my friends, I have you covered. First of all, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, and make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a brand new episode. Give us that sweet, sweet engagement. Check out all of our playlists that Austin has been kind enough to organize all of our arcs and shit into. It's great if you want to check stuff out without jumping around. And hey, you can see our beautiful faces and all the little visual gags we put in there. It's a great time. Also, if you are a fan, however, of the audio-only experience, that's just fine as well. We have options for you at 3 of the best places to find your podcast, which would be Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Come check us out there. Give us a listen. Give us a download. Give us a nice little 5-star rating and a review if you would be so kind. Maybe telling other people in the algorithm that, hey, these guys are pretty cool. Maybe you should check them out too. I don't know. I'm just saying. Give us a listen. Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. But of course, we also got some ways you can get in touch with us, kind of see what we got going on outside of the show at Noobs and Knockouts. We got some social media, baby. First of all, of course, is the Twitter. You can find us at Noobs and Knox on Noobs and Knox Pod on Twitter. That's at Noobs, the letter N, Knox Pod on Twitter. Come check us out there. We post memes. We engage in discourse. We drop a tweet every single time we put up a brand new episode so you guys know what the hell's going on. Of course, the highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting. Austin has been taking a break from watching weekly wrestling on a regular basis, so the title has fallen to me. Every Wednesday, I do my best to live tweet during, of course, what else? AEW Dynamite at 8 p.m. on TBS. I'm up here watching it with my roomies every Wednesday, or at least every Wednesday I can make it. And if I can't make it, or sometimes if I just am feeling a little extra spicy during a week, I will sometimes also do some live tweeting during at 10 p.m. on Fridays on TNT. AEW Rampage. It is the show you all been waiting on. Either way, it's a great time. Come check out the Twitter during AEW tapings. It's always a fun time over there. And of course, on top of that, Austin still can't stay away from the Twitter that much. He is kind enough to follow all of the major company pay-per-views. My friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Sure. So upcoming on November 26th is Survivor Series War Games. So far for that, we have the Women's War Games match featuring Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Mia Yim, and to be determined, versus Damage Control, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. Then the Men's War Games match, we still know nothing about that match at all. Well, Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi Blackheart for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Oh, joy.
And AJ Styles versus Finn Balor in a one-on-one match. That is what we have. That's coming up in a week. Then in January 13th is Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill. We don't have no matches announced for that as of yet. As for AEW, this episode will be dropping the day after Full Gear. So, you know,
I'm excited.
So I'm not going to bother to run down the match card of Full Gear.
Fair enough.
And next pay-per-view is probably Revolution because AEW only has 4 pay-per-views. That will
maybe
be coming
5.
up well, that's true. That'll be coming up probably in February or March. So that's also a little whiles off.
Hell yeah, brother. All right. So yeah, be sure to check out the Twitter. It's a great time over there. If for some reason you like listening to Austin and me ramble about wrestling for a couple hours on end, you'll like it over on the Twitter too. Or, you know, Austin's all smart and analytical. I'm just dropping my memes and stupid bullshit. It's a great time. Check us out at Noobs and Knoxpod on Twitter. If you want to get in super direct contact with us, of course, we also have our email address. You can email us, noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and this time, knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come check us out there. Come say hi to us. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like. Any requests you may have for any kind of wrestling media you may want us to cover on the show. Tell us how based and red pill our hot takes are. Call us dumb motherfuckers. You know, start that discourse, baby. Just generally, come say hi. We love people saying hi. We would love to say hi back. Noobs and Knockoutspod@gmail.com. And of course, finally, you can also find us on Patreon. We are also the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. The link for that is in our Twitter. $1 a month on that Patreon gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode. Shout out to friend of the show, $1 tier, Sugar Daddy Kyle Smith, for his support. Thanks so much, buddy. You know it's always appreciated. Enjoy your shout out, enjoy your perks. If you want to enjoy these perks along with our boy Kyle, come check us out on that Patreon, Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, link in the Twitter.
See you all next time.
Hasta luego.